All right. Thanks so much for joining us here today. This is Ken Archer. I'm the SVP of product here at Upwave. And for the latest expert update, I am pleased to have Jeremy O'Brien announce a real groundbreaking new feature in brand analytics, and that is opportunity notifications. Jeremy is senior product manager here at Upwave, has quite a career as director of analytics, of strategy, managing director of various agencies like Mindshare and MediaCom. He also brings a master's in data science. And he is responsible for a lot of the innovations that you have seen coming out rapid fire in the Upwave platform. And this is the most recent one. And I'm looking forward to hearing and learning more about this from Jeremy. So with that, we will turn things over to Jeremy O'Brien.
Thanks so much, Ken. Really excited too to announce our rollout of this new feature, opportunity notifications. So Upwave's dashboard not only provides insight into campaign performance, but it supports optimization decisions in a variety of ways. When we're optimizing a campaign, a few things are needed. So the first is a marked difference in performance between different parts of your campaign. Optimally, that's discernible in terms of a metric that matters to the campaign, that reflects the campaign's objective, measured by a KPI. Additionally, that difference in performance needs to be something that can be actioned, that can be acted upon in some way during the course of the campaign. And in the best of all possible worlds, we would surface that as early as possible to maximize the positive impact it can have on the campaign by making that optimization. So while Upwave's dashboard gives brand marketers access to brand and customer lift KPIs across media and creative tactics, all that information means that customers have to sift through lots of different things in order to find the opportunities to optimize their campaigns. In addition to the what, there's also the question of when to look for results. Check too early, and you can get frustrated that results aren't conclusive yet. Check too late, and you're missing out potentially on an opportunity to make a change that improves the performance of your campaign and leads to better results. So here's where opportunity notifications come in. Opportunity notifications automatically alert you of potential opportunities to optimize your campaign. This is driven by brand lift outcomes, customer lift outcomes, or targeting outcomes. So as Upwave delivers more and more cut-level metrics, we really want to make it easier than ever for our customers to leverage those analytics so that they can make valuable optimization decisions at the right time. How does it work? Talk about that for just a moment. So Upwave uses custom algorithms in order to detect signals of overperformance and underperformance between tactics. When we say tactics, that could include channels, media formats, publishers, ad units, creatives, targeting types, audiences, and more. All the things, the features that you measure when you measure with Upwave. So for lift outcomes, these algorithms assess whether tactics perform better or worse than each other based on Upwave's outperformance indicator. And for on-target performance, the algorithms assess whether tactics are markedly more or less on target than each other. Discovering these differences in performance between tactics as early as possible maximizes your opportunity to act on them and optimize your campaign. So opportunity notifications make monitoring campaign performance simpler. They're easy to find. They can be viewed and managed right in your campaign's dashboard by clicking on the bell icon in the upper right-hand side. And that bell icon also displays the current number of outstanding notifications to give you some idea of how many opportunities there might be for you to review. Clicking on that icon opens a notification pane. And in that notification pane, you can configure and manage your opportunity notifications very easily. You can select which types you'd like to receive, brand lift outcomes, targeting outcomes, or both, as well as how you receive them on the dashboard or via daily or weekly email alerts. You can monitor these opportunity notifications right there in that pane in your dashboard. They're conveniently grouped by tactic and outcome type, as in whether they are lift outcomes or targeting outcomes. And they also indicate either the KPI when it's a lift outcome or the target audience when it's a targeting outcome that they pertain to. When you click on one of these notifications, it opens in a new browser tab, a chart or table that you can investigate further and make optimization decisions as you see fit. So the elegance of that is that it reduces what would otherwise be a whole lot of data exploration to just a few clicks. Email works just the same, but it takes it a step further by helping you to know when to check in on your dashboard. Depending on your cadence of optimization, you can set daily alerts or weekly alerts via email. And the notifications look very similar in email. They're grouped by tactic, outcome type, and KPI or target audience. And clicking on them drops you right into your campaign's dashboard in a charter table that you can use to understand where the opportunities for optimization lie. Let's take a moment to think about this in terms of a hypothetical example of how opportunity notifications can help a campaign. So in our example, an ad agency sets up measurement of a campaign with two objectives, a primary objective of awareness and a secondary objective of consideration. The brand manager logs into the campaign dashboard and turns on opportunity notifications for brand lift outcomes of awareness and consideration, includes and toggles on as well the weekly email alerts. So the campaign runs for a number of weeks, and in the latest edition of that weekly email, the brand manager receives, there's a notification about publishers based on the awareness objective, the primary objective of the campaign. Intrigued, the brand manager clicks on the publisher notification link right there in the email, and that opens up an optimization chart right in their dashboard at upwave.com. In that chart, the brand manager sees that two of the publishers on the campaign are seeing outperformance indicators of 70 to 80% and have clearly broken away from the pack. Whereas another publisher is unfortunately seeing a lower outperformance indicator of 30%, which indicates that they're not driving as much lift in awareness as other publishers in the campaign. The brand manager thinks about this a little and then saves that chart right to their dashboard so that they can set time to discuss it with their team and discuss how best to optimize the campaign to the stronger performance that they're observing. So to summarize, opportunity notifications help to take the guesswork out of campaign monitoring. Finding actionable brand campaign results shouldn't be a daunting task. These dashboard and email opportunity notifications alert you quickly and easily to valuable campaign insights that are both relevant to your campaign objectives as well as to your target audiences. Not only do opportunity notifications empower brand marketers, agencies, and publishers to closely monitor that campaign performance, they also make it a lot easier to identify those optimization opportunities efficiently and more effectively than ever before. That is why we are so excited to bring opportunity notifications to our customers. My name is Jeremy O'Brien. I'm a senior product manager at Upwave. Thank you for listening. I'll pass it back over to Ken.
Thank you, Jeremy. This is really exciting. If some questions are coming in, but if you have questions, just submit it into the Q&A. So I want to, before we start engaging questions though, want to add on one other announcement, which is Upwave is making an acquisition this week that we're excited to announce of search analytics technology known as Share of Search. This is something that Upwave customers will see in their platform very soon. And Share of Search is a critical metric of brand health. And it's not only an indicator of brand health, but it also really gets to the reason why our customers value brand health so much, because whether you have an e-commerce brand, an in-store brand, the importance of having high levels of awareness, consideration is that people select your brand, proactively come to your brand without you having to pay affiliates like Google. So this is exciting technology acquisition that customers are going to see in their dashboards soon. So with that, let's get to the questions. So first question, Jeremy. So when will this be available in the dashboard?
Great question. We have been working to make this available around the end of Q2. And we're really excited to be able to roll it out so that customers can start using it this summer.
All right. So then, Q3 campaigns then presumably.
Yeah.
Let's see, is the data for opportunity notifications the same as the outperformance indicator?
Great question. So the underlying data for brand lift and customer lift opportunity notifications uses the outperformance indicator. And it looks at the outperformance indicator across different tactics that are comparable. For instance, in the example we used, different publishers. And it assesses whether the distribution of those publishers, the spread between them in terms of that outperformance indicator, is indicative of an interesting dynamic. So in fact, we've built this on top of the outperformance indicator. We're doing something analogous for targeting outcomes, but instead of looking at lift and the probability that a particular cut is beating the average of the campaign as a whole, we're looking at the in-cut percentage for a particular target audience and the extent to which a particular cut is doing better than the average in the campaign at reaching that particular target audience.
All right, thank you. Next question. Will this notify me as soon as there is something worth acting
on? Absolutely. In the dashboard, it will notify as soon as you've set it up for your campaign. It will start notifying you based on our nightly run of our results. It will start notifying users immediately. So if you set it up today, you would start to get notifications tomorrow. If you set up daily email notifications, you would start to get an email notification for that tomorrow. Now, you'll only get notifications based on the objectives of your campaign and the target audiences of your campaign. So that's something that's important to set up for your campaign to ensure that you're receiving the opportunities that you're seeing are pertinent to the intended objectives of your campaign.
All right. Next question is, what do I need to do to set up notifications on my campaigns?
That's a great question. Right in your campaign's dashboard, there is a bell icon, and clicking on that bell icon will bring you to a settings tab. And in that settings tab, you can set up what kind of outcomes you're interested in receiving notifications about, as well as whether you'd like to get emails in addition to the dashboard notifications. It's that easy.
All right. Next question is, will these notifications be triggered when things are stat sig?
That is that's a great question. So because we are using the outperformance indicator, we are looking not only at statistical significance, we are looking at the probability that a particular cut is performing better than the average. And using probability helps us to cut through a lot of confusion around the power and the statistical significance of lift results, and help you to focus on the valuable and meaningful differences between different cuts. So probability kind of cuts right through that. And because we're using that probability, we can help to flag for you where you might focus your attention. The optimization tab and the optimization charts that you'll find on your campaign's dashboard reflect this outperformance indicator. But of course, you can also go and look at the brand lift and customer lift results in the lift tab in order to assess whether you're seeing results at statistical significance levels that are important to you.
Right. So I guess the reason why the notifications aren't triggered based on stat sig is because sometimes, one tactic will be stat sig but have a lower observed lift, and another tactic will be not stat sig but have a higher observed lift. And they kind of tell different stories. It's hard to know you can't really act on that information.
Yeah,
and so that's why the notifications are triggered based on this other metric, this outperformance indicator, that combines all of that data.
Correct.
Into, a metric.
That's absolutely right, Ken, and allows you to compare cuts, compare tactics with one another.
Yep. Great. How can I make sure I only get the notifications that I want?
That's also these are some great questions, Ken. Thank you so much for sharing them. So something that is in our roadmap is to introduce a feature which will allow you to archive notifications which are not pertinent to you. So you can manage the amount of information that you see in your notifications in the dashboard. But additionally, fundamentally, the idea is to surface notifications for you that are relevant. And the custom algorithms that we've designed are intended to balance a signal to noise ratio that, on the one hand, gives you information that you're looking for and doesn't edit or remove potential opportunities that are valuable to you, but on the other hand, balances that against the enormity of the information that Upwave's measurement platform provides you. So one of the key ingredients, or a few of the key ingredients for these notifications, are target audiences. Who are the audiences that you seek to reach? Mm-hmm. And campaign objectives. What are the KPIs that you intend to influence with this campaign? And by focusing on those two things, we can make these notifications more pertinent to you. And that is why those are essential to setting up your campaigns for opportunity notifications.
Got it. So people aren't going to get spammed with notifications every day with this.
That's right. And if, for example, you set up a daily email and you found that it's not helping you based on your intended cadence of optimization, right, you can always change that to a weekly email, or take emails out of the picture entirely and just focus on what you see in the dashboard when you go to it.
Right. So people can either, it sounds like, people can really fit this into any workflow. People can act based on notifications, when they're sent, or if they have a regular cadence, for looking for optimization opportunities, then, whenever that happens, every Monday morning or whatever, then they can, engage the notifications. What are just in campaign optimization, what are like the most typical cadences that you find when, media investment teams decide we're going to look at data, so on a daily basis, twice a week, weekly, bi-weekly, and to look for opportunities?
Of course, that depends on the particular buying strategies that they're using. Programmatic tends to be faster and more dynamic. That's one of its strengths. Whereas publisher direct or digital or linear television tend to be much longer term in nature. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to make this as versatile as possible. So if daily notifications are something that would help you to make decisions based on particular target segments, say that you are using programmatically, that you can get that information without having to dig too deep for it. At the same time, if you have a workflow that's much more focused on by mid-campaign, we'd like to know how publishers or particular channels are performing so we can use that to inform what we do in the back half of the campaign. Well, not only could you set up a weekly notification, but when you actually click on notifications and find tactics that are showing some promise in terms of changes you might make, you can save those to your dashboard and you can continue to monitor those on a go-forward basis so that when you're ready, the information is there for you.
Right. So when people using Upwave see that, one media partner on a plan is significantly outperforming another media partner using Upwave's optimization metrics, what are the different ways that advertisers act on that information? You immediately think of just pulling the underperforming media partner from the plan, but I assume that there's actually a lot of other ways that they act on that information besides that.
Absolutely. So it can if it's well, publisher is a particular context. If we generalize it a little bit more, you might use this to inform your bid approach, for programmatic audiences. You could curtail further investment in a particular tactic. You could focus on certain ad units or creative and remove others that aren't performing as strongly from the plan. That can be a very definitive decision. Or you can reweight your creatives. You could reweight your allocations to particular publishers. You can also adjust your frequency. That's something that you can certainly consider, because there are other things that publishers or more generally tactics can bring to the table beyond just lift or on target performance. They could be significant reach drivers, for instance, and that's important to know. And there's also cost to take into account, right? So factoring those things in, factoring those like reach, effectiveness, cost efficiency to your optimization decisions is really important. And what we aim to do is to make effectiveness as easy as possible to understand in the context of your campaign, so that you can plug that into the optimization decisions that you want to make.
Yeah, I've also heard of advertisers and agencies, not actually making any changes, but just using this as a way to layer onto their conversations with their media partners. And because media partners, in our experience, want to have this information, both around outcomes and around targeting accuracy, to help them understand how their platform, their inventory is working or not working as a brand building partner for different brands. And simply by just sharing this information with media partners, I've heard of cases where performance improves with a media partner. So
certainly. And to your point, the optimization loop can be as tight in terms of time, on a daily basis, or as wide on a campaign by campaign basis. Right. Plugging those learnings back into your strategy, into your negotiations with partners, and your guidance to creative agencies on what's working.
Right. Yeah. So these notifications are valuable both in terms of the fact that they are early. You get early notification, but they're also valuable just in terms, even at the end of a campaign, if you're trying to use one campaign to plan the next one, just to tell you where to look for insights, for variations in performance between tactics. Because with Upwave, there's just there's so much to look at on the platform, and so this will be really valuable in helping people identify, as you said, the needles in the haystack opportunities. Great. Well, thanks so much, Jeremy. That's the end of our questions for the day. Thanks, everyone, for joining the latest expert update from Upwave. We'll have another one in a couple weeks. But until then, take care. Thanks.